Hey again, everyone. It's Ed from Live Simply Well in the Sleep Refresh program. Today I'm talking to you from my bed. And the reason we're talking about that is so many people think about sleeping as just physically getting into the bed, putting their head on the pillow. Well, unfortunately, for so many people, that's just not the case. People have difficulty sleeping or staying asleep or falling asleep. And here's a few tips that you can use to help you not only fall asleep more comfortably and within a reasonable period of time, but also stay asleep during the night. And the first thing has to do with your clothing. So I'm wearing a very comfortable piece of clothing that's not only breathable, but it's loose fitting, but it does cover my body, so it gives me a nice sense of security. Number two is I made sure that the bed I'm getting into for the temperature of the room is appropriate. Now, I like to keep my room at the recommended temperature, which is between 60 and 65 degrees Fahrenheit. Now, for some of you, that may seem very cool, but science has demonstrated that is the best range, 65 degrees being the temperature if you want to really focus on that. So what I've done is I have a fan running above me to keep air circulating, so it helps keep the room a little bit cooler. I've adjusted my home's temperature to be slightly lower, so also it benefits my sleep at night. Number two, the bedding that I get into is breathable and it's comfortable. So I have a mattress that's supportive of my needs. I have a pillow that is also supporting me and my sleeping style, which is on my side. So I have a side sleeper pillow. In addition, if there's additional light, and you do see a little bit of light coming through, then I can use some blackout curtains, which I have available, but I wanted to make sure you could see me in this video. If that is not possible, eye mask, which is very comfortable and can be placed on my face. It doesn't restrict or feel tight on my face. If there's a lot of excess noise in the area, I can use a small fan, as I do, to kind of get rid of that excess noise or minimize that excess noise. Some people like to use earplugs. These are just some nice foam ones that I have available to use. But there are a variety of other things that you can do as well. One, make sure that you have calmed yourself before you go to bed. Just like you would want to calm yourself before a presentation at work or perhaps an event like a physical event I mentioned before, you want to make sure you're in the right mindset for sleep. And if your mind is active and going, and you're thinking about everything you have to do tomorrow, well, those types of things are really going to distract not only from you falling asleep, but staying asleep at night. So there's something called the thought transfer exercise that I want to just mention to you now, and hopefully you'll come back and see the video on what a thought transfer exercise is and how it can benefit your sleep. Finally, I stay hydrated during the day, but I make sure that before bed, I make sure I completely empty my bladder. I make sure that I haven't had more than 1 glass of water within the last hour before I went to bed. I've limited my alcohol intake to 3 hours before I go to bed. My caffeine, for me, 6 hours before I go to bed. That happens to be the half-life of caffeine. So if you consume caffeine, it takes 6 hours to get rid of or metabolize half of the caffeine you've taken in. So you want to make sure you look at all of the different things that you can do to make sure that you are prepared for sleep and in the right mindset for sleep, not just physically getting into bed. Because likely what will happen is you'll be uncomfortable, your mind will race, you will not have ability to fall asleep comfortably, and that leads to poor restorative sleep. So when you wake, you don't feel the refreshed nature that you really are looking for. So again, thanks again for joining me. This is Ed from Live Simply Well. Feel free to join us at livesimply.well.live for more tips, more information, and if you're really having trouble, the programs that we can work with you on for your insomnia. Take care now. Sleep well.